The biggest advantage that I have versus a street cop is that a lot of times they don't even look at me because they see me every day, so they don't look at me as being a police officer. They understand that you're a police officer, but they kind of see you as a friend of the family. And so it helps that way. And then from a law enforcement standpoint, the bad part about being on the streets is that you see most people at their worst times. And so you get kind of cynical. That's what I tell people, that's why I coached for as long as I did, because it helps you feel young, because you get to see things that you don't normally see on the street.
979, 920, I'm in position.
You get to see kids in a good way. I wish at the early part of your career that you would spend time in the schools, because the privilege that I had when I was in Galveston, that because I worked for the school district there before I worked the streets, a lot of those young men and young ladies remembered me from school and stuff, and so a lot of barriers were taken down when I interacted with them. That's the thing, that you really know that you've made it within the school, is that when they start giving you a hard time, when they start messing with you about different things, about some clothes that you have that might not be fitting right, or like in my case, I'm bad about cutting my hair right, so they'll give me a hard time about my hair. Whenever we have signing days and stuff like that, I make it a point to be there, and so I kind of keep up with who's going to where. And a lot of times my interaction with them is when they come back. When they come back, and even though it may have been 3 or 4 years, they still, as soon as they see me, they remember me. I feel the kids have not changed. They've been pretty much the same throughout. Now, they're exposed to a lot more, but when you really get to know the kid, they all the same, you know, for the most part, happy-go-lucky, trying to find their way. A lot of times I see them trying to get away with something or trying to talk to the principal out of something, and I'm laughing in the background because I'm like, I used to do that. So that's where I feel. Some people see it differently, but that's where I feel. It's really tough preparing for that, because it's a big fear dealing with it, because on twofold, you don't want the tragedy to happen on the campus for the bigger reason, but on a more personal note, it's because you connect with these kids. I look at all these kids as my own.
Teachers and students, reverse.
Those are the things that I love to see, is that to see the kids that are struggling maybe in the onset, but then when they start finding their way and the light comes on. So I wouldn't do nothing else. This is where I need to be in the school environment.